What do you think of when the word toxic comes up? Most of us think a bad relationship with another person, or maybe getting yelled at 1 a.m. in Call of Duty by someone with this username. No matter what you think of, we can all say we've either dealt with someone like this or have even been the provider of some of these type of actions. But what happens when a community is thriving off this type of toxicity and becomes known as it? Rather, they're not known for being their community, but just being this cesspool of idiots and toxic people. Today, we're going to be on the hunt for the most toxic fan base on the internet. So yeah, this is going to be some damn hard work. Now, I just want to make one thing clear. 99.9% of the time, there's only a small amount of people that are actually toxic in these communities. You know, as they say, empty vessels make louder noise. If you say something that's controversial, it's going to be shown everywhere because it's something most people don't expect and is probably morally wrong. And whether you like or don't like the people these communities represent does not count in this video. So here's the list I'm going to be going with. Obviously, I can't get into every community here, but I'm just going with the ones that people mostly find as toxic or mostly see as toxic. First, let's start off with gaming. If I had to add one on here, it would have to be gaming. The fact is, when there's competition, there's always going to be toxicity. Gaming is all about competition. And even if the game is not about competition, it will still bring the rage out of us. I don't care who you are. A monk straight from the mountains of Thailand, a priest who praises the word of God and peace to everybody. You play a game of Cuphead and die 30 times to the same boss, you're gonna lose your shit. The worst thing about gaming is it being multiplayer with voice chat and microphones. So take that rage you would have for playing a game alone and combine it with other people yelling at you about the game you're playing. And that's just a complete recipe for disaster. And being anonymous behind a screen where you cannot get persecuted is just like the sprinkle on top. So you can say whatever the fuck you want to. Who's gonna stop you? And if you're a woman in the gaming community, you're pretty much fucked from the start. You're pretty much considered a minority in the gaming community. And the funny thing is, guys aren't even creative with the shit they say to women online. It's either, oh, do the dishes, woman, or make me a sandwich. Alright, so I think that covers gaming. Let's move on to the next category. BTS/K-pop fan base. Ah, yes, the fatherless childs of this video. The thing about K-pop is I actually tried getting into it more a couple years ago. I was looking into different music to listen to because I don't care what I listen to. If it's thumping, I'm listening to it. But right as I started looking into K-pop, I feel like I got flashbang. I want to read you guys a couple of tweets from this fan base so you can get a view of what I'm talking about. So there is this rapper going through depression and she tweeted about it on Twitter, and a K-pop fan replied with, "Why kill yourself when you can just stand twice?" And that was not the only tweet under this rapper's post from these K-pop fans. It became a huge story with them rating the tweet and posting tweets like this. And the worst thing about the K-pop fan base is they idolize when they get called out. They like that attention. It gets them horny as fuck. And the most annoying thing I find from these fan bases is when they call people locals. And if you don't know what it means, it basically means people who are not super fans of these groups. People who don't dedicate hours to having fan pages for these people, and those people will never recognize those people anyways. So whenever a post from K-pop goes viral and us quote-unquote normal people start to see it, they'll just be like, "Don't let the locals see it." Essentially, it's just gatekeeping, which is why most people do not get into the K-pop genre if they're not already in it. Because if they get confused, the no-followers of these pages will just call them out saying, "You're not a real fan." And they call us local and act like they're not from America too. Like, shut the fuck up, Emily. You live in Wyoming. That covers this category. The next one is anime/comic fan base. The thing about this category is I feel I have more experience because if people come from my TikTok or just see my TikToks, I do talk about anime a lot. No boy, where the fuck do I even start? I guess we can first start out by people trying to compare the strengths of characters. He ain't beating Goku, he ain't beating this, that, blah, 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 who cares? People who spend their time finding the littlest of differences between characters just to say they're stronger. It is a fictional character. It is not real. It will never be real. Nothing will ever happen like that in our lives. It's just sad to see, and the main platform that gets all this type of shit is TikTok. They dedicate for weeks on end about an argument about which character's nutsack is bigger than the other characters. I genuinely think if some of these people were real, they'd let some of these characters fuck them in the assholes just to compare the strength. Then they say, "Drop your Discord, kids," so they can argue even more there. Then there's the complete other side, which is people who ship characters. And 99% of the time, the ships make no sense. Like, they'll ship Naruto and Sasuke or Goku and Vegeta. It doesn't matter whether the character is a man, a woman, a child, not even a human being. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter if the person's in their family. They will ship them together. There's a lot more I could say to this category, but we're just gonna move on. The next category will be Nicki Minaj's fan base, also known as Barb. So if you guys don't know Nicki Minaj, you probably live under a rock or some shit. But basically, she has a super strong fan base. Actually, let me reiterate that. A super strong fucking fan base. What these fans do is basically hold Nicki Minaj to such a high caliber compared to any other person that they would probably kill their entire family bloodline just to get a sniff of her. If you say one thing about Nicki Minaj they do not agree with, you will be hunted down. Don't disrespect Nicki Minaj. That's their queen. It literally could be something as simple as you saying, "I don't personally like her music," and then they would just tweet at you, "That's why your grandmother is dead. If she was a Barb, maybe she would be alive." And it does not help that Nicki Minaj herself is very controversial. She has used her fans multiple times to attack people for no reason. But in recent times, she also does call out her fans because they do way too fucking much. So if the person you guys are representing attacks and even helps you guys at times and say you're doing too much, then you're definitely doing too much. There is too many fan bases for this video. video. I have so many written down, but I just don't have the time to talk about them. This video would just be hours and hours on end. But here's some images of fan bases, you know. I never named that have similar toxic fan bases and groups, anything of that nature really. And there is definitely more, but this should do for the time being. And if I missed one or you guys want to say one in the comments, go ahead, feel free to. Now getting to the actual answer of this video, who has the most toxic fan base? And I gotta be honest guys, it's none of them. Well, actually not none of them, but all of them. It's impossible to just name one fan base because there's always going to be other fan bases topping each other on this. You could have the chillest fan base in the world and you have one person from your fan base do something wrong, then that's all you guys are known for because they represent your community. But since people are going to lose their shit if I actually don't pick one, yeah, I mean, it's gaming guys, come on now, what did you expect? Comment which one you guys think are at the top of this list, no doubt. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys already know what to do. Sub the fuck up, follow my TikTok and my Instagram, and yeah, until next time, I'm out.